What is going on, nerds? We are going to have a summary of the Andrew Yang for New York Mayor campaign update, polls, betting odds, news coverage, search terms, drama, controversy, Eric Adams, AOC, Maya Wiley, you name it. But before we do that, we got to have Andrew and Evelyn warm it up. Bring it, Andrew.
There's no place to hide now that he's arrived. I'm saying he ain't playing now with this campaign. Bang, dang, it's and Drew, come roll with the Yang Gang. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up. Yo, there's no place to hide now that he's arrived. I'm saying he ain't playing now with this campaign. Bang, dang, it's and.
Hello, nerds. Nerds for Humanity. It's been a long time. I've been super busy at work. So I haven't had as much time to do content creation. And then I've been doing volunteer work for ofthepeople.us. Very exciting. We're adding new features every month to that thing. And we have a contest going on right now. So if you tweet out a link to any OTP profile of your favorite OTP candidate, and you tag the OTP Twitter account, which is at OTP1776, or you can tag me, we might give you $10, or you can tell us to pay it forward, and we'll donate $10 to one of your favorite OTP candidates. So check it out. But you're here mainly to talk about Andrew MF Yang. So let's get it on. Let's start with the polling data. So let's see if this will work. Oh my goodness. What happened here? Here we go. We're going to try and share this screen. And it does work. All right. Here we go. Warren says, what's your job? My job is I work in technology on artificial intelligence related things. So very cool, very exciting, but I also love my weekend pursuits with the nerds. All right. So yes, Nova Scotia OTP is of the people. You down with OTP? Yeah, you know me. All right, here are the polls. The latest poll was Change Research, which had Eric Adams in the lead over Andrew Yang. Woo, 21-18. You see that? Let me zoom in there. Adams is here. Youngster is here. First choice 21, first choice 18, second choice 26, second choice 22. Then you had another Change Research survey, May 6th to 12th, had Eric Adams. Trev, what? I have no idea. I mean, that would be naughty. All right. Change Research has the prior poll, May 6th to 12th, had Adams at 19, Yang at 16. And then Shern Cooperman Research, May 4th to 9th, had Adams at 17 and Yang at 21. Now, what's interesting is I think the Yang campaign released that Shern Cooperman research after the Change Research came out. So I think this is one of those cases where this might have been an internal poll that maybe they were holding in their back pocket. Obviously, the headline that Adams pulls ahead of Yang is not great. So then they released the Shern Research poll. But the Shern one was May 4th to May 9th. And change research was May 11th to May 12th. So unless there was a new Schern-Cooperman research poll subsequent, you know, you got to give credit to change research and to Eric Adams. Now, if we go into the deep dive of the change research numbers, looks like you got Eric Adams 19 to 18 with Stringer. Make that a little bigger for you all. Stringer at 9 and Wiley at 7 and Garcia at 7. While Garcia is tied 4th overall, her NY team's endorsement gave her a huge boost. Just 4% who took the survey through Monday evening planned to rank her first, but 11% who responded since the New York Times endorsement did plan to. So nice big boost for Catherine Garcia. And Catherine Garcia is probably saying, yeah, you know, Yang, you said I could be your wingman anytime. Bullshit. You can be mine. For those of you who know that movie reference, feel free to put it in the chat. Okay, so you see, this is how the rank choice simulation works. Look at this. You start reallocating people, and then you get to the 5th round, and you just have 26-23, and then the 6th round, 27-25, the 7th round, 28-28, the 8th round, 31-31. You guys know where this is going. 9th round, 37-37, 10th round, 50-50. Does not get any tighter than that. And it looks like Garcia's, oh, for crying out loud. It looks like Garcia's 26% in the 9th round gets divided exactly evenly. So you would have thought a lot of Garcia people might go to Yang, since it seemed like Yang and Garcia had good chemistry, but maybe when Garcia said that Yang was kind of insulting her by saying that she could be in his administration, some of her supporters were like, I'm not down with that Yang. Most voters aren't sure they'll stick with their first choice. More than 1 in 5 are completely undecided about who they'll rank first. Even among those, oh, cried out loud, what happened? Go back here. Even among those who do have a firm first choice, most say they could change their minds. Just 41% say they're absolutely certain. Adams voters are the most certain. 50% say there's no chance they will leave Eric Adams. Tamar makes a point here that it was unwise to make a statement about Israel and Palestine. It was too complicated. Better to have said nothing. And it ain't no man. Is that the dude from Predator? We're all gonna die. Really disappointed in Yang over his pandering. I had to change my YouTube name and retire my Yang merch. Still a fan of the original humanity message, but we need a new champion. Wow. So definitely some strong views on the Yang comment about Hamas and Israel. How certain are you? So you've got 50% of Adams people say who rank him number 1 say, I am absolutely certain. 40% of Yang who rank him number 1 say they are absolutely certain. And Morales and Garcia have the softest number 1 support. Nova Scotia is wondering, hey, what pandering are you talking about? I think that Ain't No Man is saying that Yang was trying to curry favor with the New York City Jewish vote. He knew that the Israel policy issues were very important to the New York Jewish voting community. And so he made this statement condemning Hamas. And, you know, I mean, we could take a look at it. The famous Yang comment. See if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it so that we all are on the same page. Yang tweets a lot, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. Let me see. Let's just Google it. Yang Hamas tweet. Here's a tweet. This is the one that caused all the controversy. I mean, are we surprised that it caused controversy? I mean, you're tweeting about Israel and the Middle East while you're running for mayor of New York. It's definitely going to cause controversy. Yang's no idiot. That was a decision that he made. And he said, I'm standing with the people of Israel who are coming under bombardment attacks and condemn the Hamas terrorists. The people of New York City will always stand with our brothers and sisters in Israel who face down terrorism and persevere. So you can understand why this comes across very, very, very one-sided, right? I mean, this was on May 10th, and I think just a few days prior to this, the IDF were shooting rubber bullets into the faces of Palestinians in front of a very holy site. So, you know, I'm not sure if that was the wisest tweet. It certainly comes across very one-sided, but I do think subsequently the Yang did release a new statement clarifying his position. But if you just read this tweet on its face, it does not sound very sympathetic to the plight of the occupation of the Palestinians, right? I mean, that's under military rule by the Israeli Defense Forces. So I'm not saying Hamas is at all excused. They are terrorists. But I think the Palestinians are probably our brothers and sisters too. I mean, aren't we all brothers and sisters? And this doesn't come across that way. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can show you here where he gave his little clarification. Here we go. Here's the clarification. Here's the new statement. You know, I'm a fan of Yang. I do feel like this was not his best moment. I'll be honest with you. So he says here, I spoke to a group of volunteers. What the hell? For the campaign yesterday, some of whom have been with me for years. Many of them were upset with my recent tweet expressing solidarity with the people of Israel. They expressed to me that they follow and support. Oh, we got a super chat from Soju81. Thank you. Let me finish this and then I'm going to highlight your super chat, Soju. They expressed to me that they follow and support me for a number of reasons. They felt that my tweet was overly simplistic, and they felt it failed to acknowledge the pain and suffering on both sides. They were, of course, correct. I mourn for every Palestinian life taken before its time as I do for every Israeli. Suffering and pain hurts us all. Support of a people does not make one blind to the pain and suffering of others. You know, yada, yada. So that is Yang's kind of walk back of this statement, which if I had to guess, was made in the hopes of demonstrating understanding and support for Israelis who are suffering from Hamas attacks. And I think it was probably meant as a genuine effort to connect with the Jewish voters in New York City. But it was not deftly handled, and he paid the price. Now, you could argue that ultimately Yang still will win out, because I think it may have helped him get some more support or stronger support from Jewish voters in New York, but it definitely did not help him in his national efforts. Now, if you want to do cost-benefit analysis, maybe that's fine. Maybe you lose a little national support and you win the mayoralship, and then you can build on top of that. Looks like Soju81 had a question. Why do you think Yang, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Let me give you a little cowbell. As a reminder, all money from super chats and membership just goes to helping produce this channel, paying for the streaming software, the podcast hosting, advertising, just running this channel. So the question, God darn it, man. Freaking A. I may have to sign into that later so it stops bugging me. Hold on. Yeah, why is that doing that? It's so annoying. Sorry. So the question was, why do you think Yang is receiving more pushback for the Israeli comment than Adams and others? Media is focusing more on Yang than Adams. That's possible. I think one is that Yang is the front runner. Two is that probably writing about Yang drives more media clicks and views and advertising revenue than writing about Adams. And media like to cover controversy. So that's one reason. I think that's the main reason. I don't think they're being racist or anything. I think really this statement by Yang was a combination of a genuine desire to connect with New York voters who care deeply about Israel. Two, genuine empathy for Israelis who are running into bomb shelters and under thousands of rocket attacks by a terrorist organization. And three, very poor quality control of the Twitter content. And this is on Andrew and his team. Like, I have to believe that this was not vetted, that this was somebody wrote it, maybe one person approved it, and they were like, go, go, go. How could you not think that this was going to be a problem? At any rate, all right, let's get back to the polls. Trev the Third says, sometimes it's best to say nothing at all. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Tom for press. Yeah, not anytime soon, ain't no man. But maybe someday we'll make an effort in a local office. Let a little painless out of the bag. All right. Oh, we got another super chat from Prod. Let's see what Prod is saying. it was disingenuous. It was disingenuous for AOC to attack Yang on the Israel tweet while not criticizing Biden and Pelosi for having done the same position. Oh, the AOC tweet. I forgot about that. Let's see if we can pull that up. AOC tweet about Yang Israel. Load. What does she say? That's Ted Cruz. Emily. Where's AOC? Okay, here's what AOC says. Utterly shameful for Yang to try to show up at an aid event after sending out a chest-thumping statement of support for a strike killing 9 children, especially after his silence as Al-Aqsa was attacked. But then to try that in Astoria during Ramadan, they will let you know. Ooh. Yeah, I'm guessing that means we're not going to get the AOC endorsement anytime soon. Now, you could argue that, hey, AOC is kind of picking on the Yang. Biden has voiced support for Israel as well. On this one, I'm going to have to side. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I may have to give AOC a little credit. And I'm not really a huge fan of AOC. But I'll tell you what. This here, this original statement by Yang, for Christ's sake, stop trying to make me sign in. Hold on a second. I'm going to just, let me get this stupid thing signed in. Stand by, nerds. This thing keeps trying to get me to log in. What is my password? Okay. Oh, 2-factor. Crying out loud. You gotta be kidding me. Pain in my boot. Hold on. Stand by, nerds. Golly. Such a pain in my butt. Okay, finally. All right, I think that'll stop prompting me to log in. All right. So where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So I'm gonna very mildly side with a little bit of AOC on this one, because let's be honest here, guys. This statement, share Chromie. This statement that we're talking about here, I mean, that is like, if Biden had said that, if he had said, I'm standing with the people of Israel. So first of all, it's like, okay, well, who are you standing with the people of Israel against, right? Now you can say, well, it's against Hamas. That's not clear. What you could say is, I condemn the Hamas terrorists, and I stand with, or how would you say it? I condemn the Hamas terrorist attacks. I strongly defend. It's a delicate one. I can see the Yang campaign, if they're watching this, they're like, yeah, Tom, easy for you to criticize our tweet. Now you can't even come up with one. I will do it right now. Okay, I'm going to do it right now. We'll do it live. You ready for the tweet, Andrew? Here's what you should have said. It is, oh my God, this login is just harassing me. Okay. It is tragic and unexcusable what is happening to innocent victims in Israel of Hamas terrorist attacks. There is no excuse for that kind of violence. The Israel-Palestine issue is complex, but we cannot justify violence from either side. That's all you need to say. Now, here's the problem. If he had said that, I'm guessing a lot of New York pro-Israel voters would have said, he's not really for, like, unquestionably for the Likud party and pro-Netanyahu. And that could have hurt him. So maybe there was quality control and there was this kind of calculated decision, which is we're gonna have clear pro-Israel tweet. It's gonna boost us with the pro-Israel vote in New York City. We're gonna take some heat from AOC and others, but it's still the smart play. I mean, it pains me. It pains me if that was the calculus, because it does sound a little bit political. But at any rate, all right, let's see. Okay. Oh, we got another super chat from Prad Agaram. Prad saying, Biden and Pelosi actually have the power to influence the situation. Yang doesn't. By the way, I agree. Yang's tweet should have been better vetted. I'm just pointing out AOC hypocrisy. Nerds. Yes, I feel you. This AOC, she really opened up a can of whoop ass on Yang with this tweet. Why was it so painful? Well, number one, she's saying it's shameful for him to show up at I believe this is a Muslim event, right after sending out a chest-thumping support of the Israeli strike. And it does seem to be true. I don't think Yang said anything about the Al-Aqsa attack by the IDF on the Palestinian crowd.
Hello, nerds!
So that is true. I feel you. I feel you, Prad, that AOC does. She is a little hypocritical. She could have probably come down harder on Biden and others. She probably has a little bit of some tension with Yang, I mean, he is challenging her kind of social media dominance. And he's a rising star. And there's a lot of, and she's suspicious of UBI. So, but he could have avoided it. Warren is asking, did you know if Hamas launched missiles first? I mean, I think this whole Israel-Palestine thing is such a cluster that trying to figure out who started something is damn near impossible. Because the moment you say, oh, the reason the IDF is bombing the crap out of like entire buildings in Palestine is because the Hamas is dropping all these rockets on the Israelis. And then the moment you say that, someone's going to say, well, the reason they're dropping all the rockets on the Israelis is because the Israelis were shooting the crap out of people at Al-Aqsa during a religious celebration and sprayed like putrid water and shot people in the face and took their eyes out with rubber bullets. And then then someone else will say, wow, hey, the reason they were there was maybe there were people throwing rocks from the crowd. And then the people from the rocks say, well, the reason we were throwing rocks was because like the settlers were coming in and taking land. And then the settlers will say, well, that's our land. So the who did what first game is hard to play in the Middle East. I think most thoughtful people will hope for a two-state solution. And actually, I had a great interview with an Israeli for Yang about the history of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and the U.S. relations to it. If you are interested in this topic, go to the Nerds for Humanity YouTube channel and search for, I think, Israeli for Yang or Israel Yang, and you'll see my interview with my buddy Asaf about this topic. All right. So let's now move on to, so that was a poll. Not looking fantastic for the Yang. And if you look at the data visualization, among those supporting a candidate, let's see if I can make this visible to you guys. All right. I'm going to move my face. Move my face over here. All right, here we go. This purple line is the Yang, and he peaked in February, between February and March at 35% support. And now he's turning red, okay? And then here's Adams, who was, at that time of Yang's peak, he was at 20. And now on the last poll, Adams surpassed Yang. This is Yang down here. So Yang's now number 2 from some of those recent polls. And Adams is numero uno. Who's this coming up here? Who's this car? Who's this cat? This is like an orange. Oh, that's Garcia. Okay, so this is Garcia after the New York Times did their endorsement. And the green is just tanking like in the toilet bowl. Oh, that's Stringer. Yeah, I think Stringer seems to be trending down. Who is this one? Oh, other. I was going to say, yeah, other sucking. So it looks like it's coming down to 3 people in this order. Eric Adams, Andrew MF Yang, and then Catherine Garcia. Jamity Frog is saying, hey, well, hold on a second. Adams supports Israelis too on his tweet. You know, I think there's nothing wrong when you're running for mayor of New York City with expressing some sort of solidarity with Israelis. That is not a dumb political move. What is dumb is to say it in such a way that is so unequivocal without any commentary on the Palestinians and their suffering and the military occupation of highly contested lands. If you don't talk about that stuff too, it makes it sound like you are, you know, a Netanyahu person. And interestingly enough, I happen to know a lot of Israelis, quite a number. And what I've learned is that the diversity of political views in Israel about Israel is far greater than the diversity of views about Israel in America. So in America, it tends to be almost a no-brainer. If you support Israel, that means you're pro-Likud party, you're pro-Netanyahu, you know, you're definitely big on being very, very kind of firm and a bit harsh to the Palestinians. But interestingly enough, if you ask Israelis, like real Israelis, half of them hate Netanyahu, can't stand him, think he's a crook, think that there needs to be a two-state solution. So that's just something to think about. Why is it that being pro-Israeli here means being only supportive of basically the equivalent of Donald Trump in Israel, which is a guy by the name of Bibi Netanyahu? At any rate, we got a super chat from Soju. Adam said he's first real Chinese candidate because he's been in politics longer. What in the Sam Hill? Adam said he's the first real Chinese candidate. Well, if Adam said he's the first real Chinese, did he really say that, or are we taking him out of context? I don't know. Soju, let's take a look. See, I find that hard to believe. Eric Adams, first real Chinese. I'm not seeing any obvious commentary about Eric Adams saying that he's the first Chinese candidate. But if you guys can find it, let me know. But I don't think I'm seeing it here. Let's see, Control F. Chinese. Oh, okay. You're right, Soju. You're right. Not that I didn't trust you. I do trust the nerds, but I always like to verify because this is the internet. Before Yang, I was the first Chinese candidate. I was the Bangladeshi candidate, which I still am. I'm going to get overwhelmingly the Muslim vote. Huh. I think in this case, Adams is saying that he was the candidate of the Chinese voters, the Bangladeshi voters and the Muslim voters. Well, I think he's definitely going to win the Muslim vote based on what we were just talking about. But, yeah, so that's basically, I see your point, Soju. I think if Yang had said, hey, I'm the first black candidate, meaning his policies are actually more beneficial to black voters, I'm guessing he probably would have took some heat for that. So I agree with you there. All right. So TLDR on these polls is if you are pro Andrew Yang, which I'm guessing you probably are, we are in a dogfight, friends. This is no longer a Yang is the clear front runner. This is a Eric Adams, Andrew Yang horse race with a Catherine Garcia starting to move up. So there you go. Simon Chang, Warren is saying, hey, Yang has 2 million followers. Eric has less than 10K and is delusional. Well, yeah, if Twitter decided the race, then you are absolutely right that Yang would be a 800-pound gorilla. Unfortunately, we know that Twitter is not the only decider, and Simon is saying, hey, don't assume the Chinese voters are going to go with Yang because they don't like that he's from the Republic of China. And there might be many voters who are very loyal to the mainland Chinese government. So Jametto is saying, yeah, but remember, Yang isn't from Taiwan. He's born in Schenectady, upstate New York. I think Simon's making the point that his parents are from Taiwan or immigrated from Taiwan, and there's a lot of mainland Chinese who are not big fans of the ROC. All right. So that's it on the polls. Yeah, we've talked about the polls. About the news coverage, we've got New York City mayoral candidates aim to dent Yang's lead. Yang ripped over by AOC over support for Israel. Then New York Times posted his endorsement interview. And how, this one's about the insider campaign, because I think Yang has a lot of Bloomberg advisors and consultants. Yang apologizes for pro-Israel tweet. Yang promises to, this is the one where the Venture for America did not create all the jobs that they wanted. Then there was a thing about guessing housing prices, and then people accusing Yang of cheating. Because he got the answer right. You know, guys, it's possible he just knew the answer. That's not hard to imagine. So TLDR in the news coverage, I would say the big stories are you got Adams and Yang in a neck-and-neck race, and then you've got Yang stepping in it over this Israel thing. Or Yang being a master politician and saying exactly what he wanted to say, knowing exactly what was going to happen. I'm curious. Let me know in the chat and in the comments if you think that tweet was careless or was it calculated? Careless? Calculated. Which one was it? I'm going to think, I think it was careless, frankly. All right. Now, if you're enjoying this chat, I want you to know that the people who make this channel possible are the awesome Nerds, out of focus, Nerds for Humanity members. And these folks, they make it happen. They basically donate money every month on a recurring basis. And I actually just paid like $200 for the streaming software that I'm using now for their annual subscription. So every dollar helps. And let me just give a quick shout out to the people who do make this happen. We will start with our highest level member, none other than Soldier One, a senior vice president in the Nerds for Humanity army of nerds. So thank you, Soldier One, for being such a generous supporter. And then the next level down are our vice presidents. VLAM. Oh, let me move myself. Covering them. There we go. Okay. Next level down are our vice presidents. We have VLAM, JMSAT, Fat Lamb, Kristen Slevin, Laura Lane, Patrick Dunn, Richard Johnson, Bike, and Mindful Skeptics. So thank you to our vice presidents. And then our hardcore, we've got Mike Chang, Gene Lim, David, Tracy, DK, Phoenix, Jekyllego, Kirsch, Mr. History, Byram, Mona, Susan, Yang Deng, Tony, Robert, Dean, Statnerd, Galessa, Jay Perrin, Jay Bryan, Vivian, Dana, Flavio, Yoda Fanny, Jason Sherfay, and Parth. And then our verified nerds are Helen, Lisa, Sugar, Albert, Brandon, Yes, Brian, Peter, Arez, Your Mom, Sophia, Jedwiga, Gail, Shake and Make, Mike, Doris, Emerald, Lori, Ben, Roger, Lisa, Christina, Vaughn, Rasta, Jessica, Elizabeth, James, Jalopy, Emma, Hui, Stephen, Ira, Spirited, Shoni, Philip, Jameson, Doctor, William, Karen, Monica, A, Mai, Arden, Semery, David, Brittany, Clyde, Sasha, Warren, Reddy, and Lukey. And to our newest members overall, our brand new baby nerds, I want to give a special shout out to Lukey Monster, Parth Patil, and Ready, Set, Go, and Warren Vaughn. And I think Warren is actually in the chat right now. All less than a month old. Welcome. Welcome, nerds. All right, now, let's move on and look at what Yang is currently tweeting about. Please, dear Jesus, do not be tweeting about Israel, Andrew. No more tweets about Israel. Leave it alone. You're the mayor of New York. Leave the whole Israel thing to Biden. Oh, he's got his first TV ad. I don't know if we watched this together on the show before, but let's do it while we're here. We turn up the volume here.
People give me hope. Essential workers, food entrepreneurs, the kids in our schools.
What in the Sam Hill just happened?
the kids in our schools. They are why I'm running for mayor.
I am sick and tired of hearing what we cannot do, New York City. We need cash relief to help people get back on their feet. We need to get schools open so kids can learn and parents can get back to work. We need a people's bank to help small businesses grow.
Mr. Yang, you're a breath of fresh air.
We need new leadership. We need new ideas. Hope is on the way. I'm Andrew Yang, and I'm running for mayor.
Paid for by Yang for New York.
People give me hope. Essential workers.
All right, that's a pretty good ad. Feels like the ad you'd expect from a front runner. Very hopeful. Can't blame him. Good ad, Andrew. Let's see. What is he talking about here? He got a Walter T. Mosley endorsement in Clinton Hill. He has pictures of himself with a lot of doggos. Not a big fan of the small pugs myself. I find that they smell a little bit personally. But I do love dogs. 15 years of riding the subway together. Crime shouldn't get in the way of another 15. Early voting starts in 4 weeks. Massive fundraising deadline on Monday. And by the way, if you are inclined to donate to this man, please consider doing it using the official, you know it, you guys know it, the official Nerds for Humanity payment link. That's tiny. I'll put that in the live chat now. tinyurl.com/nerds-nyc. You might be wondering, why should I give money to this man who I've been giving money to forever? Well, here's one very quick answer for you. This effing chart. Guys, we are very close to losing this thing to Eric Adams. This line at the top, that ain't Andrew Yang. Bro is here. And then with that freaking tweet, that ain't going to help him. And then you got the New York Times endorsing KG. So if you want to support Andrew MF Yang, and if you think that having him save New York will position him to do more for America,
Hello, nerds.
you may want to donate to him. And there's a link for you. How convenient. tinyurl.com/nerdsnyc. You hook that guy up there. All the money goes to the campaign. But then the Nerds channel gets credit, and then I can try and get him back on the show as a guest interview, either during the campaign or maybe even after he wins. How cool would that be? All right. Warren is saying the Jewish vote is 13%, which equals Yang's second to help with second choice. Yeah, it could be. Could be, Warren. Maybe it was calculated. Let's see. Tom TYT. That's Trumper. Is that Trumpers for Yang? I think that's Trumper for Yang. Someone. TYT. Who's TYT? Let me know who TYT is, BTS. Is attacking Yang for his stance. Whoops. Against Hamas. Do you think they are bored and looking to cancel someone? I don't know. I think that, like I said before, I love Andrew Yang. That tweet was freaking junior varsity, man. That was not well done. And he had to, and it's exhibited by the fact that he had to put out the long, oh, I talked to some of my volunteers and now I realize how one-sided it appeared. It's like, come on, Andrew. You're freaking tweeting about Israel and Hamas? Really? You're killing us, man. I love you. I think you're going to be a great mayor, but that tweet, we're going to give you a mulligan on that one, bro. We're going to give you a mulligan. Everybody has a bad day. That was yours. You better play your A game the rest of the time because we need you for New York and for this country. So hang in there, brother. I know you've been working your tail off. And we'll still support you, buddy. All right. Let's see. Oh, they're saying this is the Young Turks. Not the TYT is the Young Turks. Got it. Thank you. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the kind of most progressive wing of the Democratic Party has a much more nuanced view of this whole Israel-Palestine situation. And I've lived in Europe for 4 years. And I will tell you, the rest of the world does not look at that whole Israel-Palestine thing nearly as black and white as we do here. And, you know, I don't know if that's good or bad, but basically here, it's like if you're not pro-Likud party, if you don't think Bibi Netanyahu is like the savior, somehow you're anti-Semitic, which is such bull. Because if you talk to any Israeli, most likely they hate Bibi Netanyahu. Almost a coin flip. More than a coin flip. Most people do not approve of him. That's why he can't get any consensus. He can't build a coalition. But this live stream is not about all of the problems with Bibi Netanyahu. It is about Yang. So, but this is the reason why you may want to give. Okay, this is why you may want to use this old link here, because bro is sliding. Okay, so there you go. I think I've shared that link enough. You guys are probably like, come on, man. All right, so that's his Twitter. And now let's look at the Twitter audience. Yang versus Adams versus Wiley. Jeez, are there enough ads in here? Okay. Here we go. Yang obviously still has the most. He's got 1.97 million. You know, at one point he had 2 million. So he's actually lost some followers after the Israel tweet. And if you look, you can see here that on May 12th, of 2021, Yang lost minus, that's what it says, minus 9,650 followers. So almost 10,000 people unfollowed the man. And Maya Wiley and Eric Adams on that same day picked up a few hundred each. And then on the next day, on May 13th, Andrew Yang lost 4,000 followers. Wiley and Adams picked up 400 and 100 respectively. And then on May 14th, Yang lost 3,000 followers. Maya added 700, Adams 200. And then on May 15th, Yang lost 1,300 followers. Maya added 400. Adams added 100. So basically, Yang is definitely losing some Twitter action. But I think his campaign would say, we are not running to be the mayor of Twitter. We are running to be the mayor of New York City. In which case, then we just say, well, we got to turn this trend around. This is not... Every average polls for Yang since mid-Feb have been trending down. So I think he was kind of smart to play it safe. But I think as he saw that gap narrowing, he thought maybe bolstering the Jewish vote would be a way out to kind of turn the tide. But it wasn't. So yeah, this is probably the most concerned I've been watching this campaign. I mean, certainly I was not a fan of the decision to run, but then once the first polls came out, I was like, my God, the guy's already the front runner. But I think now we know that, okay, he's going to be in a battle. He's going to be in a battle. All right. What about search? Let's see what search trends are. By the way, if you are finding this content useful and you like this kind of deep dive, please give me a thumbs up, bros and gals and all nerds. Give me a thumbs up and share this content because the Nerds for Humanity channel needs your support. And the more subs we get, the better guests I can get. Okay. So let's look at the last 7 days. A lot of action, people searching for Yang, a lot on May 10th, and then a lot on May 11th. And then over this period, Yang was the most searched for the last 7 days, followed by Adams. And then, oh, I saw some people give me some likes just now. Thank you. Thank you for those of you who did that. I just got a little animated thing. Ooh, there's another one. Thank you for these likes. Appreciate it. All right. So what are they searching for when they search for Andrew Yang? The #1 search. This is why bro stepped in it, man. This is not the term you want people searching for when they're looking for Andrew Yang. You do not want them searching for Israel-Palestine or Hamas. Or Israel, Israel, Israel. My goodness. Ugh, this is not a winning topic. You only lose if you're trying to make this a big deal. Whereas with Stringer, they're searching for the debate, Arlene Stringer Cuevas, New York City mayoral debate, Carlos Cuevas, and Ray McGuire. And then when they're searching for Eric Adams, they're searching for Times Square shooting, Ilhan Omar, Nancy Pelosi, AOC, and Meghan McCain. And when they're searching for Maya Wiley, they're looking at other candidates, Sean Donovan, Ray McGuire, polling. And when they're searching for Ray McGuire, they're looking at Sean Donovan, Morales, and Raymond J. McGuire. So everybody else, well, Adams is being known as the Times Square shooting policy guy. And for better or worse, Yang is known as the Israeli-Palestine guy. Okay, so that is what's going on in search. Still, a lot of people searching for Yang, but you can also notice here, if we go, hold on, let me move this. If we go last 30 days, you can see how, maybe I even go further back. There was a ton of action. Yang is a blue line. It's a lot of people searching for Yang instead of searching for other candidates. But starting around April, end of April, you had a lot of people searching for Stringer, well, for bad reasons. But then you had now a lot of people searching for Adams. And a lot of people searching for, more people searching for Adams than Yang on May 10th. So that's pretty interesting. But Yang is still overall driving the most search activity. So he's the blue line. All right, next I want to call out, let's see, betting odds. So what do the gamblers think? Who do the gamblers think that Yang really stepped in it and now it's the Adams show? Do they think that Catherine Garcia's New York Times endorsement is going to change the answer? Oh, Ender is saying, hey, can we look further down his queries? All right, since we are a interactive live stream, let's go back here. And hold on, move this over. What happened here? We're going to go last 7 days. And then we're going to look at the Yang queries. So, so we said these are the top 5 queries for Yang, right? Israel, Palestine, Andrew Yang, Israel, Israel, Andrew Yang, tweet Israel, Hamas. So Ender is saying, hey, maybe there's people searching for other stuff in addition to the Israel-Palestine thing. So let's go here now, and we're going to go to the next 5, number 6 through 10. Before I do it, in the chat, let me know if you think it's going to be more Israel-Hamas or what you think the other topics will be. You ready? Here it comes. See if you were right. Oh, Henry Golding is the next one. Then Biden, Israel, then AOC Twitter, then Meghan McCain. We got a super chat from Warren saying no candidates condemned Yang's tweet. Alliance AAPI Jewish equals Dem and pro-Israel interventionist. Pick Garcia as second Hispanic. He can live without left. So these were the next 5.
Hello, nerds.
Hello, Andrew. Then you've got Stephen Miller, Al-Aqsa, Elon Omar, Palestine News, and Sheikh Jarrah. So I would say there's a lot of still Israel-related stuff. I'm not sure who Henry Golding is, but I'm not sure if he's related to this Israel stuff or not. But certainly Biden, Israel, AOC, Al-Aqsa, Elon Omar, Palestine News, and Sheikh Jarrah seem more related to the Israel-Palestine stuff than just like UBI or New York kind of local politics. All right. We were about to go into betting odds. Do the gamblers feel like Yang has stepped in it? And do they believe that Eric Adams is the new frontrunner? Or maybe they think Catherine Garcia with that New York Times endorsement is going to be a game changer. Before we do that, I do want to give a shout out to the currently trending candidates who aren't running for mayor of New York City, but they are running for local office, and they are on the OTP site of thepeople.us. So this is like kind of, think of it as a Yelp for local candidates to just get a little more exposure and for you to discover who might be running for office that might be the future of our country's leadership. And right now, the trending OTP candidates, and this is based on how many have gotten favorited, and you can favorite anyone you want yourself and influence this ranking, by the way. So I'll put a link of thepeople.us/candidates. So go check that out and make sure you participate in the voting yourself. And let me, new text overlay. I'll just do a little something. Of thepeople.us/candidates. Add. There it is. It's a little small. Make that bad boy bigger. Okay. So you've got Michelle Wu. Tomorrow, of course, I'm down with OTP. You know me. You know me. All right. We're dating ourselves. All right. So you've got Michelle Wu. Very impressive, running for mayor of New York. You've got Steve Cox, who's running for Congress in California. And you've got Sammy Ravello running for Bronx Borough President. Allison McGuire, Denton City Council, Dorian Hall, Rochester, New York, Monroe County Legislature. So check out some of these candidates. And if you want to see who are the biggest and most popular pro-basic income candidates, you can filter by policy, and you see Ali Dalzimer, Christy Seelock, and Sheridan Lund. If your candidate is not ranking high, go ahead and favorite them so that they can be ranked higher in this list, because we give them basically lots of promotion on the Nerds channel. And oh, by the way, just so you know, if you tweet out a link to your favorite OTP candidate, and it has to be a link to their profile page. So if it were Steve Cox, it would be this page here. So just copy the link from the URL right here, this URL, right? Oh, you can't see it? There it is. Whoa, interesting. I'm not sure how that works. All right. But if you tweet it out and you tag the OTP Twitter account, which is OTP1776, or you can tag Nerds for Yang, I will donate $10 to that candidate. I'll do one of those every hour for the next few hours. So I'll just randomly pick one every hour. So just tweet it out. It'll help spread the word about the candidate. Of course, full disclosure, it will increase awareness of OTP. Because we have had some candidates say to us, hey, I really don't know if I should get involved with OTP. I'm not sure if there's enough people on it. So that's why I'm asking you to do this. And thank you to the OTP Patreon supporters who make OTP possible. And I probably should give them a quick shout out, because their donations are going to funding these kinds of fun little guerrilla marketing campaigns we're doing. So let me just give them a shout out, and then we will go into the betting odds. So just bear with me for a second. Oh no, I gotta freaking remember my password. Oh man, hopefully this is right. Will this get me in there? I don't think so. Nope. One more try, and then I'll have to give the shout out to our OTP supporters in a subsequent live stream. Log in, continue. Is that working? It might. Patrons. Yes. Let's see. Yay. Okay. Current tier. So let me just give a quick shout out to our amazing Nerds. Sorry, not Nerds for Humanity. Of the People supporters, Eric Sanchez, who used to be the comms director for Yang, is one of our biggest Of the People supporters. Focus. Elizabeth Owen, thank you. Let's do it this way. Tohir Tiliev, Elizabeth Owen, Tony Perella, Rock Out Considerably, Aaron Sarnat, Byram Hess, Sugar Sweet, John Perino, Rob Thrive, Timothy Jordan, Jessica, The Trickle Up, Brian, Iggy, Gene, Muhan, Travis, and Austin. So thank you for supporting OTP and for making it possible for us to promote candidates like Steve Cox and a whole bunch of other ones. So let me just remind you guys that if you go here, Steve Cox, Michelle Wu, Sammy Ravello, these are the up-and-coming stars of political leadership. Christy Seelock, Eric Storzand. So check them out, ofthepeople.us. If you don't like the ordering of this list and you're like, hey, how come... let's say Erica Rose is not ranking higher. You need to go there and you just, all you need to do is click on the profile and then hit favorite, and that will boost her up. Okay, let's look at the betting odds. So here is an example of Yang is still the most likely to win according to gamblers, but he is less likely to win than the last time we did this. I feel like he was like 60-something cents or 60% chance. And now it's 52. And you see Catherine Garcia had a nice jump. I think she was around 9 cents, and now she's 12 cents. No change for Eric Adams, about 31% chance. And then Stringer and Wiley seem to be in that kind of second tier. So it's really down to these three, according to the gamblers. Andrew Yang, Eric Adams, Catherine Garcia. And the gamblers are not as worried, according to this, about this chart here. They do not seem to think that this Adams pulling ahead of Yang means that Adams is the new front runner. According to the gamblers, it is still Yang by a considerable margin. So if you are feeling a little depressed about the polling charts, the gamblers think that that he's okay, that the Yangster is okay. All right, I think that's going to cover it. Let's do a quick Ask Me Anything. If you guys have any questions for me or any topics you want me to hit, go ahead and put it into the chat. I'm happy to address or give my 2 cents on any topics. Before you go, please remember to like and share. And go ahead and favorite some people on ofthepeople.us. Tweet out a link to your favorite OTP candidate, and I'll donate $10 to them. And other than that, hopefully you guys are going to enjoy your weekend. And I think the chat is quieted down, so I think people are good. They've got the information they needed. Ender Buckley is saying, Adams has a lot of baggage that may get second rounds of coverage if media lets up on Yang at all. What was viewership of the debate like? I actually watched the debate. I didn't see any published numbers, but I have to imagine that it probably wasn't huge. It was a long debate. It was not super entertaining. It was like a pretty, it's a Zoom debate, right? And most New Yorkers don't even vote, so I don't know how many are going to tune into the debate. My view was that Yang did pretty good. There were a lot of people taking shots on him in the debate, but I thought he held up fine. When you're the front runner, you really don't need to try that hard. I will say, I thought the Donovan guy did pretty good. I thought Adams was fine. I thought in the opening statements, everybody was taking shots at Yang, saying, oh, I'm ready on day one. You remember when Hillary said that about Obama? Or I was born in New York, which is sort of, remember what Trump said about Obama? Basically, maybe Yang is like the Asian Obama. Any rate, yeah, William Bustos says that the debate was hard to follow, and it was pretty dry. Earl J is asking me, how's the weather over there? Well, just so you know, I am in Northern California, Earl. And I know when I was in Seattle, we were like, man, our summers are so amazing. They are. Seattle summers are amazing. But Northern California weather is no joke. No joke. It's pretty amazing, to be honest with you. I love the weather in Northern California. I don't think I'm going to leave here for a while. Let's see. Oh, BTS says Yang will win in a landslide. Vegas don't lose, right, Tom? Well, yeah, bettors generally were right when the bettors had Yang not winning Iowa or New Hampshire or the presidency and had him finishing pretty far back, and they were right. So in this case, they're thinking he's going to win the whole thing, so that's great. Oh, Zartario recently won my OTP contest, and I think he was the one who tweeted about a link to Steve Cox's OTP profile. And then I was like, hey, I told everybody, if you tweet out a link to your favorite OTP profile, I will pick one person and I will give you $10. And then Zartario was saying, hey, I like Steve Cox and I support him, and here's a link to his profile. And so I was like, you know what? Let's give Steve $10. Or I said, oh, no, actually, Zartario, you won. And then Zartario said, here, I'll just show you. Share. This is how it went down. This is how the contest works, guys. So, hide that for now. Overlay. Okay. So, I said, if anyone tweets a link to their favorite OTP candidate and they tag OTP 1776, we'll PayPal one lucky person $10 an hour for the next 5 hours. And I said, hey, I personally am digging Sammy Ravello, and here's a link to his OTP candidate page. And then Zartario, let's go to Zartario. He was saying, where's Zartario's tweet? Zartario has been very active on the Twitter, as I can see. Where the hell is it, Zartario? Jesus. That was hours ago. You are very active on the Twitter. Well, trust me, Zartario put a link to OTP, and he said that he's down with Steve Cox's candidacy. I can't find it right now, but I'll find it later. And then I was like, okay, great, you win. And yeah. Then he said, just pay it forward and give it to Steve Cox, right? And this is what I did, man. Here's my receipt, $10. Actually, I think they charged me more than $10 for processing fees. But $10 to Steve Cox from me, because all Zartario did was tweet saying he likes Steve Cox and he thinks that we should donate to him. So there you go. That's how it works, man. So if you want me to donate $10 to one of your favorite OTP candidates, go ahead and just tweet out a link to their OTP page. And don't forget to favorite them, because if you do, they'll move up on our trending list and they'll get more free promotion from me whenever I share it during live streams. Yes, BTS, you would like me to interview Erica. I've had Erica on the show a few times, actually. Would be happy to have her back. And if you want, please encourage Erica to add some tags to her OTP page, because she's not showing up. I might just do it for her if she gives me permission, but I'll show you what I mean. So if you go to the OTP, which is ofthepeople.us, and you say discover, discover future leaders, and you filter, hold on, you filter by UBI, you'll see Christy Seelock is the #1 UBI candidate, Eric Storzand, and Sass. And you're like, hey, where's Erica? She's not on this list, even though there are 7 other candidates, but she is on the general overall list down here. And she just needs to log in and add her own tags so that she can get more exposure on OTP. I know she's super busy, so Erica, if you want me to do it for you, just let me know and we'll make it happen. All right, I think, let's see if there's any more comments or questions. I think we are good. With that, I'm going to say goodbye, nerds. Like this, like it, and share it. And hopefully the next time we do it, Yang will be freaking ahead of Adams, because Adams is starting to pull in front, man. No more tweeting about Israel, please. Don't touch that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you do it. All right, goodbye, nerds.